The morning sun slowly rose over the fields. Golden light spread across small wooden houses with thatched roofs. Chickens wandered in the dusty paths, and cows grazed peacefully in nearby meadows. Villagers were already awake. Women fetched water from the old stone well. Men prepared their tools for the fields. Among them was a young boy named Thomas. Thomas lived with his grandmother in a small cottage near the edge of the village. His parents had passed away many winters ago, leaving him only with stories and his grandmother's wisdom. Every morning, Thomas helped gather firewood before breakfast. But that morning, something felt different. The edge of the forest. At the edge of the village stood an old forest. The villagers rarely entered it. Some said the forest was cursed. Others believed it simply hid secrets that should never be disturbed. Thomas often stared at the forest from afar. It always felt like the trees were whispering. As he collected wood that morning, he noticed something strange. A narrow path, one he had never seen before. Curiosity pulled him closer. But before he could step into the forest, his grandmother called from the cottage. "Thomas, come back now." Reluctantly, he left the mysterious path behind. But he couldn't stop thinking about it. The village stories. That evening, villagers gathered near the tavern fire. Stories were the only entertainment in those quiet times. Old men spoke of distant wars. Travelers told tales of great cities. But the oldest villager, Elder Rowan, spoke of something else. He spoke of the forest. Long ago, Rowan said slowly, this village was not alone. The villagers listened carefully. There was another village beyond the forest, but one winter it disappeared. No smoke from chimneys. No lights in the windows. Just silence. Thomas felt a chill run down his spine. The strange discovery. The next morning, Thomas could not resist his curiosity. He returned to the edge of the forest. The narrow path was still there. Slowly, carefully, he stepped inside. The forest felt colder than the open fields. Sunlight barely reached the ground. After walking for nearly an hour, Thomas saw something that made his heart race. Ruins. Old wooden houses, broken fences, and a crumbling stone well. It was an abandoned village. Exactly as Elder Rowan had described. The hidden truth. Thomas explored the silent place. Everything looked as if people had simply left, all at once. Doors hung open. Old carts still stood in the road. But there were no bones, no signs of violence. Just emptiness. Then Thomas noticed something carved into the well's stone wall. A message. Leave this place before the next winter. The words were faded, but still readable. Thomas suddenly felt the forest grow even darker. The warning. Thomas ran back to his village as fast as he could. He told Elder Rowan everything he had seen. The old man's face turned pale. So, the stories were true. Rowan gathered the villagers that night. He told them the secret their ancestors had kept hidden for generations. Every 50 years, something strange happened in the forest. People vanished. Villages were abandoned. And no one ever knew why. The last time had been 50 years ago. And now, another winter was approaching. The decision. Fear spread through the village. Some villagers wanted to leave immediately. Others believed the stories were only old legends. But Thomas's discovery changed everything. The message in the well had been written by someone real. Someone who had tried to warn the future. Finally, the village elder made a difficult decision. Before winter arrived, they would leave the village. The last night. On the final night, the villagers packed their carts. Children held lanterns. Animals were tied to wagons. The village that had stood for generations was about to be abandoned. Thomas looked back at the small cottage where he had grown up. His grandmother placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Sometimes," she said softly, "the wisest choice is to walk away from danger we do not understand." The caravan slowly moved down the road. Lantern lights disappeared into the darkness. The forgotten village. Winter came early that year. Snow covered the empty houses. Wind whispered through broken doors. The village stood silent, just like the one hidden in the forest. Years passed. Then decades. Maps slowly forgot the place. Travelers spoke of ruins deep in the hills. But no one remembered the people who once lived there.